Hey everybody, it's Tony Zayas back for another episode of the Tech Founder Show. Thank you for tuning in. This show is the one where we go deep and talk to founders of businesses that are on the cutting edge, really disrupting industries, and we always have great conversations and get to hear about some really cool things. Before I introduce this week's founder, I just want to remind everyone that tomorrow at 11 o'clock Eastern, we will be kicking off our Tech Throwdown 2021. We're going to be talking to the three finalists that will be pitching in the evening for our pitch night competition. And so if you want to check out that event and register to watch, I would be great to have you. So check out insivia.com/Tech Throwdown 2021, and we'll see you there tomorrow. So with that, let me tell you a little bit about today's guest. So we are talking to Haseeb Awan. He is the founder and CEO at Efani, and Efani has built a bulletproof mobile plan for important people such as executives, investors, celebrities, etc., to protect them against SIM swaps, eavesdropping, or location tracking. So it's security, and it's all about keeping people secure on mobile. So with that, let me bring Haseeb on. Hey Haseeb, how you doing?
Hey, hello, Tony. How are you doing?
Very good, thank you. Appreciate you being here. So you're at SaaStr this week.
That's right. I'm in Plaster, so I had to grab a spot on the corner to get on this interview.
Very cool. I appreciate you taking time out, being there at the conference, and joining to talk with us. So I would love to hear, just to get started, Haseeb, how did the idea, the concept for Efani, where did that start? What is the origin story?
So origin story is like, like a lot of startup. I know it's like kind of a cliche to say this was my own problem, but actually it was. I was SIMs up 4 times. So someone broke into my phone 4 times. And the reason for that was because I was in crypto for a long time. So people wanted to get into the phone so they can access crypto. So none of the time they were able to go past my phone. But so it was a lot of inconvenience. I had to do a telecom provider. They didn't know what's going on, and so all those things. And by chance, I'm a telecom engineer, so I realized like how difficult this problem could be to fix it. So I realized, is there a market for to secure important people who don't want to go to like regular stores and don't want to talk to regular people in terms of because of privacy and security reasons. So that's why we set it up. Initially, it wasn't like I want building like a startup. It was just more like okay, I want to protect myself, protect like a side project. And what I realized was like people are looking for privacy and security, so they start reaching out to us. Can I secure myself? Can I do this? Can I do this? And now we are a very strong team, and then like we have like thousands of customers right now, and we are like our churn is massively low. Like I think we have like less than 1% churn rate, and our customers are all inbound, so we don't run any marketing campaigns. Everything is so we think we found a market. If we were able to get like the product market fit, I believe, and we kept on growing. So fast forward 2 years, now we are dealing with major basketball leagues, major celebrity agencies, a lot of like if you're important people in the industry, you probably there's a very fair chance you may be using a product right now.
Hmm. Super interesting. And there's a couple of things I want to come back to that you just mentioned, which is great. But I guess before we go dive in a little bit deeper, what did the landscape look like when you decided to start Efani? As far as mobile security, what did that look like? Because researching and prepping for today's discussion, it sounds like there is an issue out there. Mobile is not as secure as most people probably think. You obviously provide a solution, but what did that look like prior to you launching the business?
So companies did some actions, right? So they say, oh, we will put a lock on your phone. We will do like So for consumers who don't know, our telephone numbers can be swapped, right? Like you can literally go to a store, like, without taking a name, you can walk into a store and say, "Oh, I'm Haseeb Awan. Can you swap my phone? I lost my phone," right? And the person will probably do very less verification. Sometimes they're bribed, sometimes they're social engineered, and they will just transfer the number over. Not just that, you can actually do it on the phone too. Oh, this is XYZ, I lost my phone. Can I transfer the number to this? And it happens a lot. So there was research, I think last year, by Princeton University, and so they tried hacking into their own phones, and 80% of attempts were successful. So 80% of the time they tried to get into someone's phone, they were able to get into someone's phone and they went through all the major carriers. And so that was a massive issue for that I realized this is a massive issue. So long story short, then if you we when we came to this space, we realized that regardless of whatever you do, there's always a risk of a human in the process. And the problem is that it's impossible to control that human because sometimes they are like not they are very poorly trained, they are very less paid, and they have no incentive to protect people. Their only goal, they make money by selling more plans. So like if you walk in the store right now, they'll say, "Oh, we offer you the cheapest cell phone plan." Oh, you talk about security. Oh, we give you Netflix. Oh, I want to talk about, oh, we give you Hello. Okay. Oh, I'm talking about security. Oh, can you have a new phone now? Oh, okay, can you sign up this thing? So they only are incentivized to secure more people, right? And so we said, okay, that's not what we want to do. We want to basically focus on specific niche, which is important people, right? Who don't care about Netflix, who don't care about family plans, who are able to afford their own cell phones. And so we said, why don't we not put them in any gimmick? Come with one plan, so we don't have to talk to them in terms of changing the plan because that causes confusion. That's where whenever the more interaction you do to your telecom to your plan, the more problems have to occur because you have to every time you do make some changes, you have to go for additional verifications. So so there wasn't like specific thing around that. And the second part was that how do you ensure the privacy? So if you look at your current contract, it will say that we sell your information. That's part of the contract. So that's the business model. So I said, is there a person who don't want to be sold and want to pay for their service? So the companies have two models to make money. Number one model is by selling you, right? The second model is like, okay, sell to you. So right now the model was, okay, I'll sell Haseeb. So we change it, oh, I'll sell it to Haseeb, which means that Haseeb will pay for the data because ultimately data is worth something. So there's two people who are customers for that. Number one, either you pay and secure yourself, otherwise telecom provider will sell it to people. Hire to hire bidder who will then sell it to other people. So we said, if there are people who will prefer not to be sold, you know, and so we found that niche, and that's how we keep on growing. So our term and services say that this is what we do. We secure, not only secure you, we also do not sell your data. And the third part is hypothetically if something goes wrong, right? So what happened in your current case? Oh, I'm so sorry, this happened. We apologize for the inconvenience, right? But in our case, no. We actually have a $5 million insurance policy by Lloyd's of London. So if something goes wrong and you occur a loss, we'll cover your losses.
Starting out, who was the audience that you targeted with this approach? Because it makes a lot of sense. That is a missing segment, right? With the focus being on security, the other providers don't even, like you said, they'll say, we'll give you Netflix free, we'll give you this, we'll give you that. But there isn't a focus on that security side of things. So, and I can see that appealing to a lot of people. Who was the initial, audience that when those first customers?
So initially, it was like a lot of people who were in crypto. That's what started off with, because SIM swap is a very common problem in crypto. Like you cannot talk to anyone who doesn't know about SIM swapping. If someone is obviously, I'm talking about the majority, right? The people who are who's of the who's, and so that was a major concern, right? They had covered and locked on everything except this one thing, which was actually a weakest link. And then we realized there's a lot of people who are customers, but they don't use uh, crypto, but they are mostly like influencers who have YouTube channels taken over by SimSwap. Their emails taken, lawyers whose account get taken over by email. Because everything is running to telephone number, social media personalities. whose accounts, like everything linked to telephone. We had divorce lawyers who reached out to us because their client's phone were compromised. As little as Uber apps are compromised, you know. So and payments taken away from their accounts. So we had like variety of people. So I would say like still 70% of people are crypto people, but 30% are like lawyers, CEOs of major Fortune 500 companies. I think we have now Fortune 500 companies as well, Fortune 100 companies as well, and then celebrities. That's about it.
Hmm, that's very cool. What is the? This is an area that I wanted to talk a little bit deeper about. What's the underlying technology and process that you guys to really offer that secure environment as opposed to what the other providers do right now? I know you guys, tout most secure mobile service guaranteed. So what unpack some of that for us? I'd love to hear.
So we have two offerings, right? One is like a basic offering that a lot of people see on the website. We protect you against SIM swapping. We guarantee you for $500, and we make sure we don't sell you data. So that's the thing. So for that, it's mostly about um, uh, like the easy concept is like cold storage, as in we don't access a lot of data. So we don't, because we have only one plan. The customer only calls us for cancellation of the plan. That's all. So because we don't give you anything else, so they come to us and, oh, can you offer? No, we don't, right? So our interaction with the customer is very minimal in that case, and the reason for that is because the moment you have to interact, we have to do a lot of verifications, and that turns very costly. Like you can walk into a store right now and you can tell how much bill they have, or you want to upgrade your device, they will do it for you because they have all access. With our case, the thing is that it's very complicated to change anything on your phone. And
Mhm.
like worst could be, oh, I want to update my credit card, which is not like a risky item. But if you want to make any changes to your account on our side, you have to go through a lot of hoops, which means that you may have to go to not just, you also have to go to your notarized, right? And so we'll send you through maybe a lawyer to verify it's Tony,
Hmm.
right? We may verify your video environment that you are right now, so we can just check, hey, are you in stress? Like no one is holding a gun to your head, right? So we make sure that's happening. We may
Hmm.
ask you to give your call to your someone that you have already put on the thing. Some people have given us lawyer numbers, so we have to talk to the lawyers. Some people have their teams who are taking the security, so we have to verify through them to make any changes. So that's what it is. But our customers, I said, don't leave. The few customers we lost because they moved out of country or they were not the right fit. So we said, we are not the right fit. Like, I think we'll move you to a better service that fits your need, because they were mostly price conscious and not as security conscious as they thought they were. But on that, our interaction with the customer is very low. So that's basically help us in making sure that we verify them to anything possible that we can. So we go through 11 layer of step verification process. If you have to go through it for every consumer, you will have a choke, like companies will choke down because they can't do it. Um, because their systems are very complicated. They cater to everyone. We cater to very important people. So that's the difference. Um, and so that's one thing. For second thing is we have a superior offering, which is our Black Seal protection. And what it's like think about like it as a firewall. And so rather than having an app on the phone, you can do a lot of setting on the firewall. So we provide you much more data than any average consumer, any telecom provider will provide it to you. And the problem with that is, even if you provide to average consumer, number one, he doesn't care. Number two, he doesn't do what to do with it. So what we have done is we kind of offer white glove service. We take care of all the information. We ask them, Tony, do you want to block your spam calls? And you say, yeah, I want to back my spam calls. Okay, there are three types of spam calls. Which one do you want to block? You want to block all the spoof calls, which are potentially could be a spam call, or you want to block unknown number, or you want to block, wipe number. So these are the common types of, so you can have
Hmm.
multiple options. We can go through the process with you, and we can tell you. Number part is, you say, Tony, I live in like Minneapolis, right? Or you live in San Jose or San Francisco. Do you want us to do anything if you leave this area? Right?
Hmm.
And you say, oh yes, you know what? I'm never going to leave this area, and like if I leave, I need to inform someone. That's for high security risk people. So they will say, oh, if this person left Beverly Hills, inform this person,
Hmm.
right? So we can do that. We can do this by by doing something interesting on the phone. And it's you don't have to install any app on the phone. That's the most beautiful part. So imagine you're in a room and someone, this is mostly for scientists and hospitals, where someone just walked into the office and did a DDoS attack, which means the signal jumped everyone. And now the person does not know who to call. So we can then inform external security team that, hey, this person has been compromised right now. Or we can tell you if someone is listening to your call. So we can tell you this person right now is being compromised in this specific country. So we can take all the data and we give it to people. Now, as I said, it doesn't apply to majority of the people. That's why we don't offer it publicly. So and very specific people need it. So based on everyone requirement, we set it up in that way. So on terms of technology, we are able to process signals and we are able to do it. Anything. So it's not something that carriers cannot do. It's just about uh, markets that they don't want to talk about. Like not every Rolls Royce comes with a bulletproof protection. But what we do is we basically take the existing Rolls Royce existing telecom network and we focus on making bulletproof. So we give it as a bulletproof solution.
That's really interesting. Obviously, you have a very careful verification process. It's manual, it's hands-on, and like you said, people have to jump through hoops to go through some of this stuff, which is interesting because it sounds like, when you think about a typical business model, it's always about making things as easy and as simple and as frictionless for the user, right? But in your case, you're kind of doing the opposite, but for a very good reason. So that just is interesting to me. And I would like to hear a little bit about that. You said a less than 1% churn rate, which is pretty amazing. Um, what do you attribute to that? Do you guys do some things? Obviously, the service lives up to what you're selling it on. But in addition to that, what else would you attribute to the churn rate being so incredibly low?
I think the best part that we have done is I think the one thing we have number one is product market fit, right? We don't onboard everyone. We don't promise you green and give you blue. We offer you only one thing: security. That's all. Now the problem with the security is that um, it's underappreciated because everything is working fine. You don't know if security is working better or you've never been attacked, right? So that's like it's like anything. But what we do is um, we communicate with the customers very, very clean, very transparent. And the second part, what we did is we have a very good customer service. If you call right now, 855 Efani, you will be greeted by someone locally and who will basically listen to your concern rather than, oh, press one for this, press two for this, press one for this. And then after 1.5 an hour, you'll basically get two-person. No, you call right now, you'll connect to someone right now based in the US who will be able to fix your problem for right now within minutes. So the people like it. People can text us. They can literally text us. They use like messaging apps to do it. And so response time is less than 5 minutes, right? If you call, it's less than 30 seconds. So that's why people like using us. So people prefer it. So for churn rate, the people who churned, we had multiple reasons, right? Like I said, like a lot of people because of COVID, they went abroad and they never came back. And they say, oh, I'm not coming back to US. Obviously, it doesn't make sense to have our service. So that's one thing with what they did. The other thing that they liked is that we don't confuse you. We literally have sent, I think, probably 0 emails to our customers after they signed up. We don't bother them, hey, upsell this, hey, buy this, we have a new offer. No. And we don't give like discounts to people like, hey, it's a 24-hour left for this discount. No, we don't give that. We said this is the price, man. Don't bother us with the price. Let's just focus on just on security. And other part that I think customers like is transparent pricing. We have one price, include taxes and everything, $99 per month. Boom, you don't have to pay anything on top. And oh, it's not like, oh, my plan is like one or two this month. No, we just have one price regardless of wherever you are in the US. And so people like that a lot. And frankly, with the phone, people do need customer service. So sometimes they'll call us, oh, I have this question about this thing, and we are happy to help them out. So churn rate is, I think, purely about mainly I think customer service and a simple product. rather than overcomplicate. People don't have to think about, right? It's secure. It's the most secure cell phone service, and that's what you pay for it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm taking some notes here, and what I wrote down is simplicity, right? You guys offer, basically, you offer a very secure experience. You offer one price and that top-notch support. How many iterations, like how long did it take you to figure out that offering, that was the fit for this market and given what you're offering? Did it take some trial and error to offer different service plans, and were you following up with multiple touches at one point, or how did you get to this simple model, or did you get it right early on?
So I was lucky. We got it earlier on because we started with this $99 pricing, and I figured out this is not like $100 per month. After $100, psychology changes, So it's still less than $100, $99. And so that's one thing. Second thing I like simplicity. What I don't like is when you walk into a store or you walk into and you will buy like I'm in a hotel, right? So I'll walk into and they say, oh, like $100 for this, $100, and then $2 for this. Like, what the hell is this, man? Like, just
Hmm.
put them in, right? Like, why do you frustrate people? Like, I don't know if you've walked into like a like if you stay in like a very expensive hotel, like 5 star, and they will say, oh, there's $10 like internet charge. Like, what do you mean, man? Like, this is stupidity, right? Like, I'm paying this much for this much, and now you're charging me this much money. It's just a frustration. So I thought customers want one thing. They don't have to think about. The more you ask people to think, the less your chances of conversions are. So we just make customers two decisions. Number one, do you know security? And can you pay $99 for that? Two decisions. And now that, oh, okay, how much minutes do I need? Oh, no one knows how much minute they need, how much data they need. So you don't know, oh, do you need this much? Oh, so why don't we bundle everything in one thing and let's make money on break it? So we got it earlier on. We hadn't thoughts about like offering multiple plan as in, oh, can we have a family plan? And can we have this? I think we could have done that. Like, the only thing that basically stopped us from doing that is delusion of a brand, because if some people, it's just confusion, right? Now you have to think about something else, uh, which distract you from the core mission security. Can you make money by offering Netflix, right? Oh yes, you can, but why would people not buy from Netflix directly? Like, what's your value proposition here? So I think it's about diluting brand and making things simple. There has been thoughts about like changing business model around for enterprises mostly, not for consumer, where you can just pay them per line and then they pay a bucket. But what we have seen in the company is like the more simple you make it for the buyer, the better it is. And I'm not a fan of like multiple pricing, especially for individuals, because it just maybe later down the road, but we said, okay, we are comfortable with this. And frankly, if someone cannot pay $19, we believe that he may search for a better service or cheaper service is a better way. Uh, and later on, so why retain that customer to begin with?
Hmm. So it's interesting, you guys are a technology solution and business, but that one-on-one customer support is so important, right? Delivering a top-notch experience. Um, how did you go about growing the business on that side with the support? Because you've mentioned a couple times how you can text people, or you have local contacts, representatives. How did you grow out that part of the business, and what were some of the challenges involved there?
I think the one thing is what happened with our case was that um, in our case mostly was that, have you, Tony, bought subscribed to a cell phone provider and you were so excited about it, right? Like, oh my God, I bought like a XYZ company plan today. No one raised about it. And I think the inspiration came from a movie called Ford versus Ferrari. I don't know if you watched the movie, but they said, oh, when people buy Ford, they don't. So the competition was Ford versus Ferrari, right?
Oh
So the
yeah, yeah.
one of the Ford salesmen said that, oh, we should have a Mustang, right? We should launch a Mustang, or I think something like that, but like a really nice car. And I think they would launch Mustang and they wanted Ford, something like that. But anyways, the word that resonated to me is when people buy Mustangs, right? They show off, right? Oh, I bought a Mustang. But when you buy like a regular Ford car, you don't go out and post on your Facebook, oh, I got a Ford, right? The regular Ford. But when you buy Ferrari, you do talk to people. So we said that our customers, I think 70% of the customers have referred other people, something like a crazy number of people. So they spoke to other people, and they did. 70% people did refer others. So we have a massively NPS, massive good NPS. Um, so when people talk about product, they tweet about us, right? When they are in a region, because one thing we have is we call it like cell phone plans are different. They have different priority support. So we work on one of the highest priority supports. Like it's like a first class experience on on a plane, right? So you don't know it because every consumer does not know how the first class is.
Yeah.
But in cell phone, you don't know how first class is, right? Because it's difficult. But when you're in a concert and your phone does not work, and the second person, okay, why is your phone working? Because I'm on Efani, right? But Tony, like your phone, okay, you are on family plan. Okay, so family plans are deprioritized, right? So they let first class people go first, and then they go with like cheaper and cheaper plans. So that's the first experience that happens. Secondly, whenever there's a SIM swap attack or there's attack on someone's phone, and the people will cheat about it. Sorry, you didn't have a funny. So that's what people talk about. So cell phone is something that if you have to run with one thing right now, one thing that would be a cell phone before you even put on the shoes. If there's a chance of fire,
Yeah.
so that's how personal cell phones are right now. If you have one chance to leave, that will be the only thing you'll pick up. So it's a very dear and thing. So that's very, very critical to us success. That how can you keep everyone open? Like I think I was involved in the first 500 activations. I used to talk to every customer, onboard them myself, and that helped me understand the customer psyche. They were surprised, oh, how a CEO is coming. So the two reasons: number one, we didn't have a bigger team, and the second thing was I wanted to learn about why they switch and what's the reasoning behind the product. So what do they think about the product? They gave me a lot of feedback about the product, how we can improve and everything. So I personally have believed is that if you customer service itself is a big product. Like if you build a product in any niche, you literally copy the product and just provide better customer service, right?
Mm.
You will basically have a nice return on that product. Like just internet service, right? Like how miserable our internet experiences are when things go down. But if no one wants to talk to a bot for half an hour and 1 hour, but if you have a better customer service with internet, there's a lot of market for that.
Yeah, that's great. So you mentioned the referral business. So is that how you generate most of your new customers, is through referrals? And what other marketing are you guys doing? Because it's a very focused audience that you guys are targeting. So I'd be curious to hear what you're doing there.
Correct. So I basically have a um, on the referral business, we actually don't have like a formal referral program. I think we just launched one like last week, where we have
Mm.
like a credits or like give some incentive to our customer to refer other customers. But before that, we had literally no referral programs. So like it's not like we had, but customer referring us. Like even if you go on Twitter right now or Facebook right now and you say, "What's the most secure cell phone service?" I need a better secure cell phone service. You will be referred to Efani. There's 99% chance to be referred to Efani. Um,
Mm.
Ask anyone on social media and who the customer, the people who are doing it. Um, so when you go to like, oh, I want a better cell phone service, there will be three options. Like, okay, I want a cheap cell phone service, there will be 20 often. But if you go for secure cell phone service, there's only one option, that's us. And that's the niche that we want to claim. So we only focus very specific on marketing, and we actually focus on how to help a customer without them using our service, and that actually helps us out a lot. So if Tony comes to Haseeb and say, "I want to be a customer," we say, "Why do you want to be a customer?" you're not the right fit. And then Tony had to qualify why he's the right fit. So it does two
Mhm.
things. Number one, maybe we are able to disqualify Tony and help him better. Maybe we are not the right fit for him. There's a lot of chances, like 99% cases, we are not the right fit for a customer. So we just refer them to the right places. This is, oh, I'm having spam calls, so we can maybe tell you a better solution for spam calls. Oh, I don't want to know who I am. Like, I'm just giving an example, right? We are not the right fit because we are not in the business of hiding people identity. We are in a business of protecting people identities. So we just try to genuinely help out a person as they find is one of the solutions. So our teams do not have like a quotas you have to meet or something. So we have zero quotas in our company. And our customer service people or anyone who picks up the call, they're specifically told that don't sell them anything that they don't need. And if we find a customer in our thing that talking to him, oh, he got onboarded but he's not the right fit, we just tell him that, hey Tony, you're not the right fit for us. If you're trying to achieve this, you can do this by doing this thing. And I'll give you a simple example. We have the best roaming services in the world. If you have a Efani, you're the best roaming experience in the world, period. And people come to us, oh, I like this roaming experience. Can I have it? I said, yes, absolutely. But the problem is, roaming experience is a bypass product. Our first product is security. Does security concerns you or not? Because if you're just coming for like for this one pool, and I'll give you a simple example. If you go into a hotel because their pool is good, but your room is not the right fit for them, you should not let them into your hotel because they may not stay again. So just focus on what your core niche is, and other products are the byproduct.
Yeah, that's really interesting. It kind of reminds me of like the American Express Black Card, right? There's a certain level of exclusivity to it. You have to meet the
Yeah,
requirements and all of that.
yeah.
And by having it, there's something that Haseeb, you still there?
Yes, I'm here. Yes, sorry. Oh, did you
Okay, just
disconnected?
wanted to make
Sorry,
sure.
sorry,
Yeah,
sorry.
no
This may
problem.
be.
But there's that level of exclusivity, and it's not, you're disqualifying people before bringing them on if they're not a right fit. So you're really focused on getting that right user, that right customer on board, and I would imagine that's part of why your churn rate is so low.
Yes, sorry. I think my camera just shut down. Okay, I just fixed it. That's correct. So
You're
we
back.
actually work on like, even if you go on our website, you cannot buy the product. Our second product, you cannot buy it. You have to get qualified for it. And a lot of people say, oh, I want to buy it online. I said no, because that's not for you, right? Like how would like a black card that you mentioned, right? That gives you access to a lot of launches and everything. You have to pre-qualify. Now their pre-qualification quota is different. You have to have a credit score and everything, and that's different. But in our case, we make it invite only just for our own sanity, because you don't want to onboard like people who are not the right fit and they cause problem for you in the future. So we may have compromised on growth a bit, but it's okay that if we can serve the people that we have right now very better. So I personally am a fan of serve little people, like serve little number of people, but serve them really, really well. Um, and just be the best for whatever you want to do, regardless of the bigger market or not. Like, incentive to start the company wasn't to make a lot of money. Its incentive was to help people and to make sure that whatever your core audience is, that you are the best option for them.
That's awesome. So, see, what does the team look like? Obviously, you guys, you have a really unique business, one that there's such a wide utilization for. I mean, everyone's got a mobile device, right? And you have this really targeted audience, and serving them, really delivering on those promises, those simple promises of the brand, super important. So, what does the team look like, and how do you attract people who are a good fit for Efani?
So I think all the onboarding happened. It was mostly inbound, people who came from referrals. Now we are lucky and we have a lot of customers, so they refer us more people, right?
Mm.
So we actually, so our history was, we started with around with our customer funded around to. So when we want to raise money, we went to our customers, and customers were 80% of our filled up, or 80% of our
Mm.
round. So, and then we said, okay, we need 20% outside capital so we can get um, some outside, intellectual and intel as well. And similar for hiring too, we ask our customers, And I think in the next 5 years, I believe 80% of the hires would be our customers.
Oh wow, it's very cool. Um, what is on the roadmap here for Efani for the next 12 months? What are you guys looking to do? Any new product offerings or
Um,
enhancements?
so I think our Black Seal protection is it's a new product that we have. Again, it's invite only, which is very popular among enterprises right now. So that will be our focus for the next 12 months. People like visualization, like even though you're sort of protected, a lot of people will say, "Oh, how would I know that I'm protected?" Right? So you have to have some kind of reminders. So that's one thing that we want to do. We want to build a credit score around telephone numbers. When you put telephone number, you could get a credit score of how secure your number is based on multiple
Hmm.
factors, right? Like, which phones are you using? How often have you changed? How old is the number? Because every company is selling the information. So your information is publicly available regardless. So if we can fetch the information and create like kind of a social score for you, where you can put any telephone number and it will tell you how secure the number is. And I think the score would be used by major like for 2FA OTP. So if like similar to your credit score, if it's too low, you would not qualify for a credit card. Similar to if you go to a bank and you put your telephone number and the telephone number is unsecure, they may say, "Oh, this number we cannot use this number because this is an unsecure number." Right? There's a high chance of risk of hacking. So I think if we turn that into and we give people visual score for free, I think that can turn into a kind of a good growth hack for us, where people will just check their score for free. Other option we are thinking about is um, talking about blockchain. Like we because we come from crypto background, so there's a lot of blockchain plays that we can do. So we are establishing an Efani lab, which we should be officially announcing in a week or so about like how can we incorporate blockchain and use the solution that we can because like the problem with the blockchain is that not a problem but it's like a black and white, right? Either you are in the system or you're out of the system. Can we create some hybrid solution for that? And I think the other part could be, can we set up like a service, which a couple of services exist for your social security number, but can we set up a service that actually monitors your telephone number on the dark web and inform you whenever your data breach is being found with your number in? So if you get a text message, Tony, today you had this account this way and they got breached today. So maybe you want to change your password there. So just purely contextual on specifically on that. So these are a couple of offerings we had. Other than that, like building a better dashboard where we can tell you, hey, Tony, you had 20 attacks this month. We protected against 20 of them, right? 20 of your people have unsecured lines. This area you went to had a stringer device there. Someone's trying to track, this friend of yours trying to find your location. And so all those kind of statistics, we can provide it to you.
Hmm. That's exciting stuff. So is that when do you see that that equivalent of a credit score? When do you see that being something that
Um,
you can launch?
Frankly, we have been that's an incompetency on my personal side that I was unable to execute it so far. Because number
Hmm.
one, like business was growing, like we grew 200 times last year. So it was like difficult for us to cope up with something that's growing and then you have something. But now that we are thinking about like what the next 12 months to do, I think we'll start with a simple service of data breach. We have made all the ingredients, it's just that we haven't launched it professionally because I wasn't sure about the score and I don't want to give people random scores. So we wanted to be sure about what is the score mechanism because we want to make it very transparent. This is how we determine the score. And I think in the first few months it will be absolutely incorrect. It will be like not the it will be like a lot of false positive, a lot of false negatives. So what we'll do, we'll keep on improving your customers right now and see how it performs. So we can tell you if your credit scores drop. Like I'll give you a simple example. Our telephone number is our identity, right? If uh, this is one thing that if you sign up for a mobile app, you give your telephone number. You sign up for Venmo, like any Venmo or any PayPal or any, it's telephone number. So if your telephone number get compromised, you're basically screwed up. So can we just fix this one problem? And that's what we are doing. So we have other ideas. It's just that how the product takes. I think within next 3 months, we should have something out there for people to see and test out their scores.
That's exciting. It's very cool. Um, so How can people who are tuned in, interested, learn more about Efani as well as follow you in your journey? Where should they check out? Social media,
Uh,
website?
sure. So my username on I'm pretty open on Facebook and Twitter. So my username on Twitter is Haseeb, Haseeb. Our social media handles are all Efani. So wherever if you type Efani, it will come. If you type secure cell phone service, we will come up. If you ask anyone if you forget our name for some reason, just go on Google and or type what's the most secure cell phone service, or ask on social media what's the most secure cell phone service, and you will be referred back to us. So that's the easy ask to do. But Haseeb is pretty Haseeb. That's my username on Twitter. You can follow same on Facebook. Other than that, for our company, we do have a Efani username that you can use, and you can basically follow us. For someone who's interested, first of all, they should learn it actually, because if they have a specific question, I'm pretty active on Quora too. If there's a specific question, they can reach out to us and we can tell them if how can you solve this problem. So come up with the problem and tell them this is this problem I'm solving, because there's a chance we may not be able to solve the problem. Like it's not possible for us to work with Facebook app. Like if you're sharing all the information, how can Facebook take it? Obviously, if you're giving information to them, they will publish it. So we can't help you with that. But what we can help you, we'll tell you this is what we can do, this is what we cannot do. Efani.com, there's a contact us form, there's a chat on the website too, and you can call us 855-55 Efani anytime, and we'll take care of you.
That's awesome. Well, our last question to wrap things up is, this being our tech show, what is the tech? And I know you have a background and you talked a little bit about crypto and some other things, but I would love to hear from you, especially given what you do and your background. What is the one technology that you're most excited about as it emerges over the next 3 years, let's say?
One technology is tough, right? Because you're biased, right? I think if you're asking me one thing, I'll be biased, and my response will be cybersecurity. And the reason why I'm saying is because if you think about it, we have spent, like as an Americans, as like any country, we spend a lot of money on our like buying arsenal, like tanks and planes and everything, right? While our core systems can be compromised with very little cost. So it's not just the bullets are not flying across around. It doesn't mean that there's no war. So if you want to destroy a country, you can literally go into the system and destroy and cyber attack them, and it's super easy, right? You may not be able to attack like bigger things, but you can attack supply chains. You can attack like municipalities. You can destroy someone communication system just by hacking into that. So why do you need to spend like planes or like these expensive planes and everything? Because while you can do that. So I think it will be like right now we hear about attacks and we don't even know who did it, right? And you don't know who you're paying. So you may be having paying a ransom to the person who's actually you're making them strong, strengthening them. So think about it, like U.S. one of the corporation in U.S. got attacked, and all the hydro went down, power went down, right? So how do you take care of that? And the organization who did it, first of all, they jammed your system, but now they're asking for money too, and you give them $1 million, and now so you funded their next mission, right? So cybersecurity become only because there's no physical damage doesn't mean that there's no happening. So I think cybersecurity will become massive. Right now, no country is taking it seriously. But why don't I believe that there'll be a cybersecurity army of US in the next 5-10 years, where you have a fifth division of our army that okay, Navy, Air Force, Space, and then like ground force, and then you have a section for cybersecurity where US have to destroy anyone. They will not send their troops. We will not send our men there. We'll just attack them from sitting in US in our house and having very little collateral damage.
Yeah, super interesting stuff, and great insight. And well, as you said, obviously you're biased, perhaps because this is the field you're in. But I do think that's a big wake up call. I think you see more and more headlines every day about things that are happening in the cybersecurity space, breaches, big organizations, governments, et cetera, that you never would have imagined this would happen. So, yeah, that's an interesting thought. I think there's a lot we're going to see. But really appreciate having you on today. So Haseeb Awan from Efani, thank you so much again for joining today. Really appreciate your time and insights, and keep doing great work. For those of you
Thank you,
joining,
Tony, for having me.
yeah, you're very welcome. For everyone joining, thank you for tuning in. We will see you again next week. And don't forget to tune in tomorrow if you're interested in watching our Tech Throwdown. Thanks again, Haseeb. Everyone have a great day and take care. We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.